Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to put something on here for the top 10 games I played last year, 2023. Get this done while it's still January, and then I am hoping next month to do my top 100 games of all time. Already been working on that, so hopefully in February that'll be coming out, but we will see how that works out. 2023, I played a ton of games. I played 99 games that were new to me. I thought I had played 100, and then midnight hit the next day, and I checked on Board Game Geek, and it turned out I had played one of the ones that I thought I hadn't. So who knows? Maybe this year I'll get to 100, but no real goals or resolutions for me this year. I'm basically just going to try and work on some game design and pitch some board games to some publishers. So we will see how that goes. In the meantime, this is the top 10 games that were new to me in 2023, meaning that the first time I played them was last year. Uh, I think one of these I might have played online before, but I do not count that. It's not the same, and that's what I've decided. So, without further ado, I own most of these. There's a couple that I don't that we will get to, but number 10 is the Guild of Merchant Explorers. This is a game that looks very beige, and it there is a surprising amount of depth and fun in a very quick amount of time. The whole thing, it says it takes 45 minutes. I think that's accurate. Um, it plays really well solo, plays about the same amount of time if you play with the full four amount of people. It's basically a flip and write, but instead of writing, you are putting out these little cubes and these little towns and towers out on the map where you're exploring. A lot of fun, more fun than the cover makes it look, in my opinion. That's number 10, the Guild of Merchant Explorers. Number 9, I played for the first time on December 31st. So as part of my drive to get to 100 new games. And I picked this up. This was in my last thrift run of the year. I picked this up for $5 at a local Goodwill. This is Blitzkrieg. Technically, I believe on Board Game Geek it's listed as Blitzkrieg World War II in 20 minutes. 20 minutes is probably accurate once you know what you're doing. But in this game, you're competing over the various different theaters of World War II with these pieces that you draw out of a bag. So think kind of like Quacks of Quedlinburg, but a two-player game that is very heads-up aggressive, and you're just playing your pieces on this board. Um, and trying to win control over the various different theaters of World War II, moving things along the tracks to show who's winning in each one. Some of the pieces have special abilities. You can research new tiles that may or may not come out. Only played it once, really looking forward to playing it again. Very fun game. There's also an alternate history version on the back here, which is if the Germans won and occupied the United States, then you have the Japanese attacking the Nazi-controlled United States, and the Japanese get Godzilla, and that's interesting. I don't know how much I want to play that one because it's weird, but I'm sure I'll give it a try at some point. That's number 9, Blitzkrieg. Number 8, I played for the first time early in the year and played a lot of this game last year. That is Wild Space. Wild Space, what had been, I picked it up used, I think, at Games Unlimited, local game store here. It had been pushed really hard at one of the conventions I went to by Pandasaurus, that's the publisher, and it did never really seem to take off. It they're trying to make it kind of this epic space game while still keeping it nice and short. It's not epic in the slightest. What happens is you're basically just playing a crew of these various different spacefaring animals. You got an octopus, a bear, a rhino here, and it's really you're just looking for combos. You're looking for combos, getting cards. You only have 10 turns, and how many points can you get in the space of 10 turns? I really like it. In a lot of ways, I think it probably didn't take off because it was mismarketed. Um, but who knows? I'm not sure why this one isn't more popular. That is Wild Space. Number 7 is a roll and write called Next Station London. My friend Matthew bought this for me as a gift, so thanks, Matthew. And we played it for the first time at at the local bar here, and it's great. It's really simple. You are creating a map of the London Underground by doing flip and write stuff, basically. Flip and write is when you flip a card over. I was trying to show you one of the things here, but they're all packed underneath. Oh no, there's no old. Oh, there are some old ones. Okay, cool. So this is a map that someone made. I believe this was Elaine made this one because as it says at the top. And so you make these different little lines of the London Underground, and they score in different ways. You score more points for crossing the river, the Thames, more points for going to various different stations and connecting your lines together. Um, Again, plays really quickly, really great flip and write, and the theme is just so good. I love this whole like create a transit system theme. Um, Lots of fun. That's number 7. Next Station London. Number 6 I own, but it's not here because I think Melissa's been borrowing it for a while. So Melissa, get it back to me. That is Marvel Remix. Marvel Remix is a take on a game called Fantasy Realms, which I also played for the first time this year. Much prefer Marvel Remix. The theme is fun. Basically, you're creating a team of superheroes. You're kind of almost creating like a plot of a movie. I think it works well if you think of it that way. Um, and so you want to draw cards that work well together. So, maybe you're going for all the Wakandan cards and they work well together. Or maybe you're trying to do something with a bunch of ranged guys and that works well. Stuff like that. Real simple, real quick, plays well with any number of people. I think it plays up to 6. Yeah, nice filler. That's Marvel Remix. Number 5 is the only game on this list I don't own, actually, and this is a game called Ohanami. Ohanami is a drafting game um, for, I think, 2 to 4 players. We played it with 4, and I think would work best at 4, where you're drafting these cards and playing them into 3 different columns, and you get points for various different cards. The only thing is, when you play a card in a column, it has to be either higher than all the cards in that column or lower than all the cards in that column. And so you kind of want to start in the middle for each of your columns and build them out. But then, of course, there's good cards that are like really low or good cards that are really high. So there's a lot of tension there. Amy and I played this with David and Sarah at Origins. And wow, I was blown away at how simple and fun it is. I think drafting is, in a lot of ways, uh, an easy way to balance some things because you can see what someone is going for and hate draft, take their card. Um, this game, honestly, it doesn't have a lot of that. You're just kind of focused on what you're doing and a little bit of what the other people are doing. Um, yeah, I was really impressed. I'll definitely pick this one up at some point. That's number 5, Ohanami. Number 4, oh gosh, I played this game so much. Man, I should pull up which of these games I played the most. But Long Shot the Dice Game, I played a ton this year. Again, something I discovered reasonably early in the year. Can't remember exactly when or where I picked this up. Um, it might have been a Christmas or birthday thing. Long Shot the Dice Game, it's a roll and write based on another game that I haven't played called Long Shot. And in this game, you just have these horses, you're moving around this track, and you can buy the horses once the race has started, of course. You can move horses forward or backwards, as we know happens all the time on a racetrack. Horses just going backwards. You can put helmets on the jockeys once the race has already started. So it's very silly, but it works well even with I think this is a great I wouldn't even call it a filler because it probably takes 45 minutes. It says 25, that's a lie. Um, a great game for playing a lighter game with a bunch of people who are heavily into board games. Because there's a surprising amount of depth in this game. It Yeah, you can win without owning a horse that even finished the race. You can win with just betting a lot on some long shots and then trying to manipulate the odds to make them do well. Love the fact you can manipulate the odds after the race has started. And yeah, just a fun game. Highly recommend it. That's Long Shot, the dice game. Number 3 is the heaviest game on this list. Um, I would almost say by far. Number 1 is also pretty heavy. Um, but uh, this game is Beyond the Sun, which I technically don't own either. This is Mark's copy. Thanks for letting me borrow it, Mark. Um, I guess I can't get too mad at Melissa. But anyway, Beyond the Sun is Tech Tree the game. So I'll try and show you the back here. There's four basic starting technologies, and then once you discover them, then you can discover these technologies, and there's a whole tech tree, and you have to discover up this way to get more points and end the game. And there's also another board with some ships on it that is important, but the tech tree is what the game is all about. This is a game where it's no looker. Um, it's just these basically like walls of text and various different symbols. And then you have your player boards here, which are also very kind of minimalistic. It's just a fun game. I love tech trees. I love, the civilization games. And I, it's almost hard to explain why it's fun, but fiddling with things to get them to the point where you're doing a lot of cool stuff, really satisfying. That's number three, Beyond the Sun. Number two is my most played game of 2024 so far, 15 days into 2024, and played it for the first time in December last year. This is Forest Shuffle. Amy was given this game by Marianne and Sarah for Amy's birthday, which was the 29th of December. And man, this is a great game. This is another game where you're looking for the combos, and another game where you're kind of doing some drafting. It's not really drafting. Gosh, how to show you this game? Anyway, you're playing these trees, and then you play the animals on these trees, and the animals combine with each other in different ways. So you go for a heavy bird strategy, you go for a heavy tree strategy. You could go for the deer and the wolves, which is my favorite. Yeah, Forest Shuffle. Once you know what you're doing, the whole thing takes, it says an hour on the box. It takes less than that if you know what you're doing. Um, and it's just so satisfying to build something up and be like, okay, well, I've got this and this, so I definitely need to get those owls, and they can give me some cards. And then, but then you'll be like, okay, so I need to play this. Oh no, this is a rabbit. My opponent really wants rabbits, so I can't play that right now. I got to wait until the cards get up, and then they're about to be wiped away. And there's a lot of player interaction without direct attacking, and that is something I love. Um, yeah, Forest Shuffle. I've already probably played it 15 times. Great game. And finally, my number one game of 2023, which is a game that's about 10 years old, is Concordia, which I finally played for the first time this year. I picked this up from Keith actually at Game Masters. There was a flea market. I was selling several games, and Keith sold me this for a really great price. Thanks, Keith. Including the England expansion, like England and Germany, and it's just this is amazing. It's so good. I was just talking about Force Shuffle. The amount of player interaction without direct attacking. That's what this game is. This is Trading in the Mediterranean, the game, which is almost like a trope in board games of something that's like been done to death. And yet, it just when you're building your little trading posts where other people have trading posts or in the same region, so that when someone produces in that region, you also get stuff. You also might want to be the first one to try and go there because it's cheaper, and then you're just the amount of times in this game where I'm like, oh, you had to do that like a turn before I wanted you to. Um, Even though no one can negatively impact you, there are no cards that hurt you that someone else can play. It'll just be something like, oh, you produced in this region, and I was just about to place a house there. So if I placed a house there, I would get this resource, but because I didn't, I don't. Um, or, and this is a good one too. There have been times when I banked on, I'm like, oh, I bet that person's going to do that on their next turn, and if they do, then I can hold off on doing this. I can do this other thing, and then when I do this, it's going to be so much better. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, so good. There's definitely a lot of different strategies that you are doing the same thing every time. Um, Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting Concordia to the table more in 2024. Oh yeah, it even says here it is 10 years old. 2014. This is a nomination of the Kennerspiel DRS, which is the Gamers Game of the Year. Did this not win? Oh my gosh, I gotta look that up. Let's see what beat it. Anyway, that was my top 10 new to me games of 2023. I will briefly run down 11 through 20 because I have that. Like I said, I played 99 new games this year, and well over 50 of those were really great. Yeah, it's a great time to be a board gamer. 11 was Endless Winter Paleo Americans. Bob, I want to play this again and see how much I really like it. 12 was Rift Force, great two-player game. 13 was the Fox Experiment from same designer as Wingspan, Elizabeth Hargrave. Need it might even go up. 14 was Trailblazers, complicated. Not complicated, but it's like so complicated to think about. Well, 15 was Dice Realms. I played Steven's copy. Thanks, Steven. 16 was Ahoy from later games. It is basically Root Light. 17 was Ascension Tactics, which is a deck building game with a map where you move miniatures around. Very fun. 18 was the Isle of Cats, drafting game that I thrifted. 19 was Valley of the Kings, another deck building game. And 20 was Clank Catacombs, which is the version of Clank that I think I like the most. And I'm borrowing Nikki's copy right now. So, Nikki, if you've forgotten, I have it. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching the video. Like I said, the top 100 games coming of all time coming next month. Let me know what else you would like to see, and hope you have a great day of gaming. Bye.